If they can't catch Frank the bank fraudster, it's like an expert tripping over their own shoelaces in their backyard. Not only is it humiliating, but it may also hinder promotion. Yet Carl is confident, as fraudsters fear exposure most. Soon, Frank discovers his exploits made the papers, and the media dubbed him Airborne 7. The vain Frank decided to channel his inner 7 and rolled around in a shiny silver sport. While checking into a hotel, he bumped into a model who offered him a cool $1,000 for some mentoring. He pulls out a $1,400 check instead of one for the exact amount, cleverly making the model hand him $400 in cash on the side. Meanwhile, Carl was working tirelessly like a mad scientist trying to figure out Frank's true identity. Yeah, Frank surprised Carl with a call on Christmas Eve, apologizing for playing him at the hotel like a fiddle. Frank said he's in room 3113, Amster Hotel, inviting Carl for a meet-up. In Carl's mind, an idea flashed. This must be a trap. See, he's got some malicious intent. Frank hung up, thinking he was seen through. Despite having a fortune, he felt as lonely as a cat in a dog park. Carl was the only one who could get the truth out of Frank, unless Frank was really good at lying. Carl had been searching nationwide for Barry Allen's name, but came up as empty as a soda can at a party. Until a server pointed out, isn't Barry Allen the Flash? Oh boy! Carl realized he was played by Frank again, but hey, at least he got a new lead. The Flash only pops up in teen comics, which means the suspect is probably still in high school. He ordered a search for runaway teens all over New York and finally tracked down Frank's biological mom. His mom found love again, with the guy who once hung around her apartment Sea Awkward. Carl asked about Frank's ex-husband, and his mother said their love was as romantic as a movie set in a French. Finally, with the old yearbook, Carl discovered Frank's real name, and that he was only 17. Mom wasn't even paying attention to his antics. Subtitle: Mom believed he was merely a petty thief and vowed to compensate for his actions. After Carl's relentless pursuit, Frank stopped counterfeiting checks and delved into a party lifestyle. Surrounded by beautiful women, but he was as interested in them as he was in checking the weather. One day, Frank met nurse Brenda at the hospital and was charmed instantly. Hearing that airlines were cracking down on fake pilots, he decided to pretend to be a doctor for a while. He slapped a Harvard emblem together with some superglue, creating his own name like a pro crafter. Then he crafted a perfect medical resume and waltzed into a night shift at ER. He managed 6 interns and 20 nurses, including the object of his affection, Brenda. To avoid detection, he started cramming medical knowledge by binge-watching videos like a college student before finals. Meanwhile, he and Brenda were getting closer thanks to some Cupid's aim. One rainy night, they established their relationship as the ER got an emergency case. Instead of jumping in, he let the interns take care of it and snuck off like a ninja. Because the heartbreaking and gruesome scene was far beyond his comfort zone, he found out he actually had a severe case of blood phobia and decided to resign. He stayed away from the dizzying emergency room and was planning to propose to Brenda. Brenda's father had kicked her out after an abortion, but Frank's presence gave her the courage to face him. At the dinner table, Frank mentioned quitting pediatrics to return to law. Brenda's dad casually pointed out that having both medical and law degrees is almost unheard of. Suspecting something, her dad asked, "What's the name of the old dean's dog at school?" But who would have known? Frank's quick thinking helped him wiggle out of that one with no sweat at all. Meanwhile, Carl was rummaging through Frank's dad's house for clues like a detective in a movie. Though old Frank wouldn't give him anything useful, Carl found Frank's latest address in a letter on the table. Following the address, he found an apartment, but it was emptier than a fast food restaurant at 3 a.m. Only a children's hospital employment contract clung to the wall, so Carl followed up by hitting the police station. They stormed into the office where Frank worked, but it was just as empty as his excuses. Carl was a step behind, as Frank was already washing his hands of his past life and starting to live a normal life. No more counterfeiting checks or playing pilot. Instead, he passed the bar exam like a champ. He became an assistant litigator, and his courtroom speeches were more entertaining than a reality show. The more perfect Frank seemed, the more uneasy his father-in-law felt, thinking, "How could a guy like that love my daughter? My name is Brian. Truth is, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer, and I'm definitely not a pilot. I'm nobody in particular. I'm merely a man deeply in love with your daughter." That year, Frank completely won over Brenda's family, and on Christmas Eve, they sang together around the tree like a scene from a holiday movie. The light shined on Frank, reflecting his warm and hopeful heart like a scene in a rom-com. He quietly watched his in-laws dance to the music, a swell of emotions bubbling up inside him. Though he never experienced his own parents' love, he found warmth in the happiness of others. Counterfeiting checks has never been his intention. What he truly yearns for is to restore the warmth of the past. On Christmas Day, Frank found his dad again, 2 years of life washing away the fight in him. Life left a few grey hairs, and now Dad had surrendered to reality, bidding farewell to the past. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and let me know you love this humorous version.